my Veganese friends, and welcome to another episode of Speaking Veganese. Now, I have been promising you a book review, actually 3 different book reviews for a long time, and I'm finally doing them. So, the first book that we're going to review, I guess, is The Starch Solution by Dr. McDougall. And this was one of the first books that I purchased when I decided to become a vegan. I literally decided to become a vegan, just as I mentioned before, because I was scared. I thought I was going to have, I thought I was going to be diagnosed with cancer. So with that in mind, I just went all in. You know, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about what I was really, the decision I was actually making and what I was going to be giving up. I just did it. So after I decided, I thought, okay, well, I need to do some research. Because what exactly am I going to eat? Where am I going to get my protein? Where am I going to get my calcium? Which are some of the main questions that are always asked when I tell someone that I'm a vegan. So Dr. McDougall addresses all those questions in here. He also has lots of success stories in the book, which really keep you encouraged to do this. And one of the stories, which was wonderful, is of a 15-year-old girl. She's now, I think, in college, but when she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, she was 15 and she was in high school. So I could really relate to her story, and it was so great being able to read the story of someone who had the exact same illness that I had and was able to be cured through food. So I love this book. It has been so helpful. Let me look at, I'll tell you what the parts are. Part 1 is basically he explains how the starch solution, or being a starchivore as he calls it, is basically what most successful societies have done to survive over the years. If you think about people in Asia, they have survived for many years on rice. Different cultures, many cultures have survived on corn. Many cultures have survived on wheat. And so he explains everything in regards to basically the history of starch and how it's really something that we need for survival. This was actually what convinced my husband to do this with me, because when I said I was going to become a vegan, and I think I had the same idea that I was going to be eating fruits and vegetables and that was it. And many raw vegans do that. But what I really liked about Dr. McDougall and his starch solution was, first of all, the name of the book gives it away. So, and a potato, which, a potato has been known for so many, and still so many people believe that potatoes make you fat and carbs make you fat. Certain carbs do make you fat, but whole foods won't. This is not a very good book review. Okay. He also talks about why starches are healthy, and he talks about the 5 major poisons in animal foods. And basically this part is more of the scientific and the explanations as to why the starch solution is the right way to go. And then in part 2 is frequently asked questions about food. And this I like this part too, because like I said at the beginning of the video, I get asked all the time, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your calcium? And he answers that very specifically. He has tables comparing how much calcium certain foods have compared to milk and all these things. So I really like that. The only thing that I would say I'm not too sure about is this book, the way that he writes it, and Dr. McDougall's personality is like really strong and I would say almost like stubborn, and I feel that's my personality too. When I know something, when I figure something out, I want everyone to know it, and I want everyone to start doing it that way. And I'm slowly realizing that that's really not how we all operate. So I'm not, obviously, I'm trying to stay away from that with pushing things on people. And I feel that with the Starch solution, certain foods that are vegan, he sort of puts them down. And while I understand why he puts them down, because they're not the healthiest, you know, a lot of like soy products that are supposed to resemble like a hot dog or resemble certain things. I don't eat any of those because I know that they're not the best for me. But I, in the same time, I'm looking at this as my medicine. So I'm taking it like it says. I'm trying my best to stick to my plan. But for someone who is really just looking for overall health and just wanting to make a change, maybe they're already healthy, but they want to become a vegan for environmental reasons or animal cruelty, you know, sometimes you need those transition foods to help you make that transition. So that's the only part that I think is a little bit too strict, I guess, for most people. You know, I went all in. I didn't do any oil or anything, just like he said. But eventually, especially when I was cooking for somebody else, I really wanted them to enjoy the vegan food. So I remember my first attempt at brownies was terrible. Like everybody hated them because it was black beans and banana brownies or something. It wasn't from this book, but it was sticking to no oil, no, you know, any of that. And so sometimes, especially if you want someone to transition, they have to have certain familiar foods or certain things that make the change easier. So again, I love this book. Dr. McDougall he even has a 10-day starter program, or maybe it's a 7-day. Let me double check. It's a 7-day sure start program. And basically he gives you what to have for breakfast, what to have for lunch, what to have for dinner. And it's just wonderful. So I recommend this book 100%. However, if you're in good health and you're wanting to transition into the vegan lifestyle, just take what you can and take baby steps. Because I think sometimes if you go full in and you see that something's too hard, you might just quit altogether, and that would be a shame. So if you can take baby steps, that might make it better. I know there's a book called The Lean, and the author escapes me right now, but she really takes baby steps. I've seen many interviews with her about, it's called The Lean, so it has two meanings. Lean as in being lean, and also as in leaning into the vegan lifestyle. So I think that would be a good fit if you are just not sure about how you're going to make it happen. I know many people in my family who have just been amazed at my results and they want to do it as well, but they are not ready to go all in. So that's okay. I think there's just different personalities and different circumstances. If I don't think I would have ever gone vegan if I didn't have rheumatoid, well, I did have rheumatoid arthritis and I still didn't do it, but I would have never done it if I hadn't been so afraid of cancer that I thought it was just like my solution. So, long story short, if you are in perfect health want to become a vegan, you want to just increase your chances of fighting against diseases, you want to have more energy, you want to just feel better overall, still buy this book. It's awesome. But when it comes to some of the things, like you can still be vegan, and he has a chapter called The Fat Vegan. And maybe some of those foods you might need at first. The fat vegan foods, you might need them at first to help you transition into the vegan lifestyle. And then eventually you'll stop eating them, you know. But, so that's the long story of this, but it's amazing. It has everything you need. I love that it covers the most asked questions, because I get asked a lot, where do you get your protein and where do you get your calcium? Or people saying, I just can't give up my milk because I need my calcium. Or I just can't give up eggs because I need my protein. So this just really puts everything into perspective. And like I said, and I've said many, many times, I love Dr. McDougall. I could kiss this book. If I ever meet him, I will give him a big hug and a big kiss, because he has changed my life, and I'm just really grateful. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful, and buy this book and tell me what you think about it. Bye.